Modern professional resumes have evolved into generated surfaces. According to the McKinsey 2025 Global Survey and Pew Research, 1 in 5 U.S. workers now use AI directly in their daily roles. In an environment where any professional can prompt a large language model to manufacture a cover letter, the ability to produce fluent, polished professional text has become a commodity. Previous hiring eras relied on the quality of a candidate's writing as a proxy for competence. Today, that same prose carries a significant credibility deficit. Spending hours optimizing resume language often results in a polished but ultimately dead surface. The strategic challenge is moving past the document to build a living source. Enterprise systems like Workday's Skills Cloud and Greenhouse AI are designed specifically to process these generated surfaces at scale. These systems parse incoming documents for verifiable evidence nodes. If the algorithm scans a fluent narrative but finds no structural data to support the claims, the file is rejected as hollow noise. This interrogation is backed by the April 2024 EEOC guidelines and NIST's AI Risk Management Framework, which establish the compliance standards for AI-driven hiring filters. Navigating these systems requires a transition from traditional document writing to architecting a decoupled data layer. To maintain credibility in a generated world, workers must adopt a worker-owned evidence layer. This requires a 3-tier architecture. At the bottom, the private evidence vault stores raw project records and metrics. The middle layer, the claim map, grades claims as proven or emerging. At the top layer, rendered surfaces like modular resumes are built from verified data below. Separating your source data from the surface document provides a buffer against changes in hiring formats, algorithmic updates, and AI hallucinations. Managing a private evidence vault carries inherent risks. A career's raw truth often includes proprietary employer data and sensitive outcomes protected by NDAs. FTC guidelines on protecting personal information and USPTO trade secret policies require strict data governance. A functional firewall must sit between your private vault and the public-facing documents you render. This boundary is why you should avoid uploading raw, sensitive project data to public AI tools for resume generation. Professional leverage is built by hoarding your private raw data while strictly controlling the public safe summaries you release. Moving data from the vault to the resume is a process of dehydration. You strip away the secondary context to meet the constraints of the page. Each resume bullet functions as a compressed argument, distilled entirely from the evidence retained in your vault. This principle applies to interpersonal networks as well. Sociologist Mark Granovetter highlighted the impact of peripheral connections in his research on the strength of weak ties. A networking introduction is another type of surface. Like a resume, it relies on dehydrated claims that can be easily shared. A dehydrated evidence-backed claim travels across human networks with high signal and minimal distortion. When you earn an interview, the objective changes. Candidates often treat these meetings as high-pressure memory tests. Effective interviews function as a rehydration protocol. The interviewer identifies a dehydrated claim on your resume and requests the context you stripped away during the drafting process. You respond by retrieving specific data fields from your evidence layer: the situation, your role, the action, your judgment, and the result. This protocol removes the need for panic-driven retrieval. It allows you to provide specific evidence without over-explaining irrelevant details. Operating from a governed data source produces the biological byproduct of executive presence and interview confidence. The structural integrity of a career is compromised when generative AI is used as an identity author rather than a translator. This creates AI drift, generated text detaching from evidence. First, ownership drift. Contributed translates into led. Second, scope drift. A 3-location project expands into a multi-site enterprise. Third, outcome drift. AI generates fabricated causal metrics like a phantom 20% gain. Cumulative drift turns a capable professional into a liability the moment they face human or algorithmic scrutiny. To maintain data integrity, you must enforce the source-first rule. This aligns with NIST generative AI profile standards for mitigating hallucination risks in enterprise environments. Within this workflow, the human inputs governed, public-safe data. The AI translates the phrasing, and the human verifies the provenance before the text is released. Maintaining this rigid translation boundary is the only way to preserve provenance in an ecosystem of fully generated text. corporate systems are being flooded with flawless, empty noise. In this environment, an architecture of verifiable professional truth provides a level of credibility that language alone cannot match.